Whenever something doesn't go the media's way, they're always going to find a headline or something to counteract their inconvenience. I'm sure by now everyone is aware that RFK Jr. made one of the best speeches of his life, dropped out, and endorsed Donald Trump last Friday. Then he went to Trump's rally and spoke there and had one of the greatest applauses of all time. And his final comment was to make America healthy again. God forbid he has values and wants to side with someone that agrees more than disagrees. Not every Democrat is going to be a radical left lunatic. So their first response is to bring his family into the news to try to counteract the Kennedy and Trump image, even though the other Kennedy family members' opinions are irrelevant. And honestly, the rest of the Kennedy family seems like a bunch of two-faced sellout losers. First, they talk about his cousin that no one's ever heard of, Jack Sloppy Burger, saying RFK Jr. is for sale and Kamala is for the people. Yeah, great cousin he has. For reference, this is what his little cousin looks like, a typical low-testosterone male Democrat. His brother, Max Kennedy, who's said to ignore his brother because Trump stirs up hatred of illegal immigrants, has contempt of the law because of his legal troubles and January 6th attempt to overthrow the government. Yeah, pretty standard issue Democrat argument that no one really cares about. And then his sister, Carrie Kennedy, went on MSNBC and publicly disavowed her brother. Is this something a good sister would do? Or am I being a brickhead?
You know, I think this is really the stakes this November couldn't be higher, which is exactly why my whole family will be fighting so hard to reelect Kamala Harris and Coach Waltz, who've been champions for the values that my family has fought for years. Donald Trump is the polar opposite. He's a threat to the most basic freedoms that are core to who we are as Americans, the right for women to control our bodies.
In this moment, she goes off for nearly a minute to lie about Trump from a script that someone else made for her and just make ridiculous claims.
Of E. Jean Carroll, his contempt for the poor and suffering, for ethics, democracy, healing, his cruel sneering at human rights for suffering of people in America and around the world. And these are the causes that was loved so passionately by the real Robert Kennedy. So I'm outraged and disgusted by my brother's gaudy and obscene embrace of Donald Trump. And I completely disavow and separate and dissociate myself from Robert Kennedy Jr. in this flagrant and inexplicable effort to desecrate and trample and set fire to my father's memory.
This just bothers me because this isn't what a family would do. A family would have each other's back no matter how far the disagreement is, but a lot of members of the left, and yeah, maybe right, have embraced this whole radical ideology that if you don't 100% agree on the message, then you're a racist, you're a sexist, and family no longer matters. And of course, they don't want RFK Jr. campaigning with Trump, so the Biden administration has cut the Secret Service protection from RFK, even though his life would be put in danger. Almost sounds like they're using the same technique they did with Trump, weaken the security, and then it's not their fault if something happens to them. But luckily, RFK Jr. has common sense and is a decent man and isn't letting stuff like this affect him.
Campaigning actively, I think President Trump is going to make a series of announcements about other Democrats who are joining his campaign. And I want to make America healthy again, and so does President Trump. So those are objectives. The Wall Street Journal may be worried about shareholder value for pharmaceutical companies, and I think I talk specifically to President Trump about that issue, and he said that he wanted to leave as his legacy healthy children, and that that he was unconcerned about the other implications.
Imagine being his brother or sister and disavowing him on RFK saying things like wanting children to be healthy again. Yeah, couldn't be me. But I'm curious how this will affect the election. I'm starting to ignore all the fake polls because I'm sick of the selectively chosen polling, making it seem like Kamala got this big boost and is so popular and is Obama 2.0, when this Trump and Kennedy movement may be one of the biggest bipartisan movements of our lifetime. And I'm curious to see what other Democrats endorse Trump.